We begin tonight's program on the East Coast. A Gisborne Forestry contractor is calling for the Immigration Minister's resignation, saying delays in processing migrant worker visas is costing the industry and his disadvantaged region hundreds of thousands of dollars. Jason Koya currently employs 24 full-time workers. 10 of them are from overseas, but he's still looking for up to 40 more planters this season and says he's being stymied by unreasonable immigration wait times. Mr. Koya says he's paying top dollar at $30 a box of 100 seedlings planted, with some of his workers making $2,000 a week. But despite this and an extensive local recruitment campaign, he says he simply can't get locals to fill the jobs.
Again, we've engaged extensively with WINS and they weren't able to find any workers. We've put in 3 requests with the Ministry of Social Development. They could not find any suitable candidates. When I mean suitable candidates, I mean the reply was 0 workers they could find to us. So basically, through advertising, through a bit of word of mouth, we were able to employ 8 locals. Unfortunately, I've had to let 6 of them go already. And
why?
Basically that's just because of low attendance. You know, they'll start off for 4 days, then go to 3, then go to 2, then go to 1. So there's just seems to be no will or commitment to work, unfortunately.
So when you ran this campaign, how many were you hoping to recruit?
30 to 40. At the moment, we've got about 20 boys. 10 of them are on work visas, but I still need another 20 workers. I needed another 20 workers 2 months ago when we started our planting season.
So how much is this costing you, not having those workers? What does that translate to, dollars-wise?
Well, I'll put it this way. We had to decline one forest owner upon starting planting season. That was May the 7th, and we had to turn down 400 hectares. So that's probably a gross revenue loss of $200K, somewhere around there. Having said that, our current target regime planting for this season is 2,000 hectares. Because we're probably at 40% of our labour workforce that we need, we probably won't hit that target, and we'll probably be short by a further 600 hectares. So I'd probably say well over $500,000 in gross revenue being lost.
Because you simply cannot get the people power to put these seedlings in the ground.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, I know this is a nationwide problem. I know this is a regional problem because I know of other contractors out there that have already had to turn down 500 hectares and 200 hectares. Again, in the same boat, they just can't find the workers.
You mentioned the fact you have some workers here on visas, right? So how is that going? Are you trying to get more of those people?
Oh, definitely. Our most productive workers are the guys that are on visas. I know, not only just speaking for myself, but speaking for other contractors that I've associated with over the last 10 years, I can state categorically if it wasn't for them, our business will probably be in the Googler. Migrant workers are reliable, they're honest, they're trustworthy, they're drug-free, they're alcohol-free, and they're easy to train, and they hit production target every day.
Can't local workers be that as well, Jason? Can't local workers be that as well?
There are some good local workers, but over my experience, probably the last 3 years in training, probably 95% don't last.
You would like to bring in some more overseas workers to bolster your numbers. How long is it taking you to get visas for these people?
Okay, our first applications were done mid-April. That's just almost 3 months ago. And from what I understand, nothing's going on. They're just lying there dormant overseas, the applications.
How do you know that nothing's happening with the applications?
Because there's been no responses. Usually they'll give you a response if they need further information. If there's a document that's missing before they can continue with the application and things like that. So, yeah, it's just lying there, just lying dormant, heard nothing at the moment. So From what I understand, it could take up to 90 days.
Okay, so you've heard nothing from Immigration New Zealand and you believe it could take up to 90 days for these visas to be, approved or otherwise?
Yep.
And how long are the visas for, when and if you get one?
Well, there's two visas. There's the Essential Skills Work Visa. Unfortunately, you've got to be qualified for that. You've got to have at least 1 year's experience, or you've got to have an NCQ level 2 or 3. So it's hard for us to get anyone from Tonga that has that qualification. So we've gone through another route, which is a new route from government, which was introduced in February, and that's known as a bush regenerator visa. Now, this is more focused on planting, although the visa itself is rather vague. It doesn't say 6 to 12 months, but we can get our boys over under this visa without any qualifications, and they can plant and do weed control for us, which is usually about 4 to 6 months of the season.
To put this simply, is the situation that it takes so long for you to get visas for these workers that you will not get the labour in the time that you require it?
Oh, yeah, definitely. It's 2 months late already. Our season has been seriously affected. Forest owners are trying to ask us if we can find more local workers, and I've just said to some of the supers, I said, "You're dreaming, mate. You're dreaming." I've had to get rid of 6 guys because they're not turning up to work every day.
So, in short, you believe it is impossible for Shane Jones to meet the 1 billion trees target?
Oh, yeah, exactly. And I can tell you there's probably contractors throughout the whole nation that will agree with me as well. It's not going to happen. I'm being realistic here. I've got enough facts and data on my payslips to show you the attendance and production records that this government's dreaming. And I told his office, when his office come down, I said, look, I know you're focused on Kiwis. I know you're focused on locals as well. So are we. We are really passionate about bringing our young Māori boys in as well, as a Māori myself, and giving them careers. But just from our experience, it's not going to happen because they don't last. So I can't see that target being hit. And I've told them, and I said, look, if you're serious about this, you really have to, as an interim, as an immediate way to address our sustainability concerns, you've really got to allow focus on a more streamlined forestry visa.
In terms of the workers, have you spoken to the Immigration Minister about this?
I've gone to Nash to ask him about if he can correspond with Galloway, because again, I've got confidence in Nash, having experience in forestry and small businesses. I believe that Nash has engaged with both Galloway and Jones, and again, I can't find. I'll put it this way: two years ago, for an essential schools work visa, you're looking at $340 and a 2-week process time. Now, for that to change from $500 with a 4-month process time is absolutely ludicrous.
So what needs to happen then?
Well, I think the first things first is Galloway needs to explain why such an extreme delay, considering the price rise. What's the reason? Nobody seems to know the reason. If you ask me what the reason is, I'd say it's red tape and bureaucracy and just bad administration and bad leadership.
Is the minister up for the job?
I think he should resign, to be honest with you. The whole thing's just in a mess, you know. Talking to the local contractors, they're frustrated. They've had a gutful. They feel like pulling their hair out. And these are guys that have been in the sector longer than me. So some guys have been in there for 20, 30 years. And it's the same old problems that should have been addressed last year when Shane Jones brought his office down. And I told them, look, this is what you need to do. You need a streamlined forestry visa. The processes aren't working. The red tape is phenomenal, and the practicality of it, it's just ludicrous.
That's Forestry contractor Jason Koya. And just before we went to air, Jason got back in touch with us to tell us that just this afternoon he got an email to say that his visa applications have finally been accepted. So what does Immigration New Zealand and the Minister have to say in response to Jason's concerns? Immigration New Zealand says essential skills visa volumes are materially up. This has caused a genuine backlog of applications that need to be worked through as efficiently as possible. In the near term, this means bringing on more processing capacity to visa processing sites around the country. And it reiterates that INZ is taking steps to address the backlogs, including retaining and growing the Henderson office in Auckland and deferring the withdrawal of visa processing from Manila. Meanwhile, Immigration Minister Ian Galloway provided Checkpoint with a statement. He says, "I have raised my concerns with Immigration New Zealand and they are reporting to me regularly. I expect them to be fully focused on improving visa processing times." And we'll hear from Shane Jones later in the program.